Good morning and welcome to the Home and Health Show here on WMUZ 103.5 The Light. I'm Chris Ayotte, your host this morning, joined by our friend and guest, Kaylajoy. Kayla is the owner and operator of RC Heating and Cooling. Kayla, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Great to have you. We're going to talk about all things heating and cooling today, especially for homeowners that may know a little bit, but they don't maybe know enough to take care of their system and to try to understand how best to maintain so that they're getting longevity out of their furnace, out of their air conditioner. A lot of people outside of maybe changing filters don't know what else to do to maintain their system. We're going to get into all of that, but you're also known as HVAC Barbie, which has a very interesting history to it. Tell us a little bit about you and what makes RC Heating and Cooling so special.
So, my name is Kaylajoy. I do HVAC education on Instagram, trying to educate homeowners on how to, like you said, maintain the longevity of their systems. And I always wear pink. So, in one of those networking events that I went to, I had someone say, well, look at you, you're just HVAC Barbie and all that pink. And it just stuck. So, doing both with the social media aspect and, hashtags, HVAC Barbie kind of came alive. And that's where I am with that. And so that makes us very different because it's completely opposite of big burly man construction when you throw in someone that has pink hair and always wears pink. So
Yeah, well, I like it. It makes a lot of sense. And you actually started working for RC Heating and Cooling for the previous owner. I guess you were just so impressed with the company, you decided, you know what? I'm going to take over.
Yeah, absolutely. So I answered a Craigslist ad to be his secretary and dispatch all the guys. And that was about almost 10 years ago now. And I loved working with the previous owner, Ron, and we had a great working relationship. He taught me everything that I know up until he decided to retire. And myself and another coworker, Eric, which is now my business partner, we kind of came together and we're like, well, he's retiring and I don't really want to find a new job. Hey, you want to buy it? And he's like, I'll buy it if you buy it. And I was like, I'll buy it if you buy it.
Sounds like a dare.
It literally. So we loved working for Ron, and we really wanted to keep his legacy alive. He's a great person, and he definitely is a staple in his community with the heating and cooling industry.
And you serve all of Metro Detroit and specialize in residential repairs and replacements. You know, people probably lose track of how these systems wear and tear over the years. I mean, here we're in the spring, coming into the summer season. We've been using the furnace all season long. Again, that takes really a toll on the system, and we want to make sure that we're doing the right things to keep it maintained. You actually offer a range of maintenance plans, which we'll talk about for those who are interested, for as low as $22 a month, and we'll tell you what that includes. But Kayla, you've come prepared today to help our listeners understand some of the tips, some of the common mistakes people make, and certain things to look for when it comes to maintaining your HVAC system.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am all about educating the homeowner to save money. It's not that I want to, not have a service call, but I want to make sure that everyone's educated so they can do the little things. So when the big things come, we know ahead of time that it's not the little things. So you tell us that you've been changing your filter and that we get there, the filter's clean. So now we know that we are still going to go through the steps, but we know that that's not the beginning of that big problem. So it definitely helps with time, money. It saves the homeowner so much time and money, which is really what I want to do.
Yeah. And you're also a social media influencer on Instagram, so that's also part of the education for your fans, people who follow you, and they can catch you on Instagram as well. And let's get into some of the tips, the tricks, and maybe some of the common mistakes that people oftentimes make.
So there's a lot of everything goes together with maintenance. Neglecting your HVAC system is the biggest mistake that you can do. It is the lungs of our home, and we want to make sure that we are comfortable. And we are committed to making sure everyone is comfortable in their home. So, neglection is the first one. It decreases your efficiency when your units are overrunning or underrunning. And that filter that we consistently talk about, replacing it, making sure it's clean, why is one, it catches dust and allergens and stops you from sneezing so much, and also stops with the air restriction in your home, which can put a toll on the motors that push the air through your home. So making sure those two items specifically will definitely make your system work more efficiently.
And there's a lot of rules of thumb when it comes to the replacement of the filters. There are a range of filters that are guess good, better, best. Some are very expensive, some are wider than others. What do you recommend when it comes to those filters?
So it just depends on your home and where your furnace is located and what you need it for. So if you have animals, you want to make sure your filters are being replaced as much as possible. I even say weekly for long-haired animals, because once that gets into that system, it blocks it up. Again, puts strain on your system. There's 1-inch, 2-inch filters, 5-inch filters, 4-inch filters. There's air, like media filters. There's air bears, which is like a whole home purification type of filter. It just depends on what your home requires, how long your home and how long you are at your home, and what your specific needs are. Everybody's different.
Yeah. And for the average homeowner, do you recommend every 3 months? I know some of the filters can last longer depending on their size and width.
Yes. So if you don't have animals and you have a media filter, which is a 4-inch filter or a 5-inch filter, 3 months is about average. If you have a 1-inch or a 2-inch filter, I would say monthly. That's me, because there's so much dust. I mean, think about how many times you look at your picture frame and you're like, oh my gosh, didn't I just dust that? Well, think about that in the big home. That's what your furnace filter is doing. It is, it's catching that dust. So I change mine every month that I remember, and I'm not home that much, and it's still dirty when I pull it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. When I pull mine out and I just see that it's a dark gray, it's time for replacement.
Way past time.
Uh-oh.
If you can see it, it's been clogged. So that's, your eye is what you should be noticing, but do it before that.
Do you have to spend a lot of money on filters?
No, absolutely not. The market and advertising that you get from Facebook or Home Depot or even Costco, they're charging you 40 something bucks, $80 for a media filter. Go to your local HVAC company that has a storefront, or call someone and say, hey, can I come buy a filter? We get them in bulk, so we charge less for those. You can also go to your local, actually Costco sells them relatively cheap, and they sell them in a 4-pack, so you don't forget. But just call your local HVAC guy or girl, which is me.
Yeah.
And I can sell it to you right at the front door.
Your local exclusive HVAC Barbie. Outside of filters, you mentioned neglect or neglection of the system. What are other examples of neglect?
Setting your thermostat too high or too low. During the spring transition, and especially in Michigan, it's 71 degrees, 80 degrees one day, and then all of a sudden, tomorrow it's going to be 50. So consistently moving your thermostat up or down, it puts strain on your system. It overworks. So it needs to, your air conditioner is removing humidity out of your home. That's what makes you feel hot and sticky. So if it's running trying to go so cold as to say, let's say 64 or 65, it's never going to get there first because of the humidity outside, but you're going to overwork those motors. So it's a catch-22. You want to be comfortable really quickly, but you're also doing damage in the long run.
Yeah, and we'll get into some of the things that people can do to maintain on their own, and then how you come alongside at RC Heating and Cooling to help them. you have a few different maintenance plans. One's called the Performance Maintenance Plan, and it is as low as $22 a month. That includes 2 visits per year, a 21-point safety inspection. There's also a purchase accrual system program that we'll have Kayla talk about in our next segment. But there's several different offers here along the lines of the maintenance plan that you'll find as a homeowner are going to be very beneficial at RC Heating and Cooling. You can learn more at rcheatcool.com, or you can give Kayla and her team a call today. Maybe you want to have the system inspected. Maybe you don't know what kind of maintenance has been done. Maybe you're the owner of a pre-owned home that has a history with its HVAC system and you have questions. RC Heating and Cooling wants to serve you today at 586-991-5990. That's 586-991-5990. We'll continue here on the Home and Health Show on WMUZ 103.5 The Light, Detroit made, Bible strong.